to Friday. It's Mornings in Meridian. I thought that was the perfect way to start our Friday with a little possum this morning. So 601-485-9191. Yes, it is finally Friday, September the 22nd. Glad you're alongside us on 102.1 on that radio dial, online at WALTmeridian.com or that Facebook thing. Go like us and follow us and watch the show this morning live on Facebook, WALT Talk Radio, even on YouTube this morning as well. Roger is out this morning. Got Rob behind all these crazy looking buttons, and hanging out with me again this morning on a fun Friday is Dr. Toby Bates.
Good morning.
How are you?
That's awesome way to start oh my gosh.
Yeah, now you're all energized and ready to go.
I am, little George Jones, and just cranking up and that's the kind of song that'll stay in your head till like noon. Right? Outstanding.
Absolutely. So, got a very busy show this morning. Want to visit a story we touched on a little bit yesterday. It is a fun Friday. Maren Morris and country music. Going to get into that coming up. Also, we're going to guess that John Fetterman term this morning. And yesterday, Peter Ducey was at it again with Karine Jean-Pierre. So
how dare he do his job?
I know, how dare he do his job. Also, we're going to be visiting with a representative from MSU Meridian this morning as well. So
I work there. Do I know him?
You should.
Okay.
It's not me.
Not you?
I mean, I work for Mississippi State too, but
you do indeed.
Yeah, the one in Starkville.
Yeah, you're at the big house.
I'm at the bigger, at the bigger. And also, we'll do our due diligence and talk about this again. Bond issue.
That's right.
So, a very busy show. Phone lines are already ringing up. Let's go ahead and go right to them. 601-485-9191. Hey, caller. I hate that.
I'll pay the money, wife, okay? I'll pay it.
I hate that phone call. I hate it when that happens that way. All right, well, we have an opportunity. Let's thank our friends over at Tony's Southern Sportsman. I think it's a perfect way to start out the show when you thank Tony Creel down at Tony's Southern Sportsman, because there's that little bit of hint of fall in the air this morning.
Yes.
And bow season is just around the corner. And if you need to get that bow tuned up, I love how Charles always says Tony the Tuner.
That's right.
Down at Tony's Southern Sportsman.
He's great.
That's right.
No, you're right. It was a little cool the other morning. I came out and I actually thought I smelled someone burning leaves, and it was just my neighbor vaping. But it still smelled like burning leaves. No, the great thing about Tony Creel, folks, is that all year round, but it's something about the fall. Rob's exactly right. Something about that fall, and you start to get a little bit of that crispness in the air, and you're reminded of tradition. And what I always say is going to Tony's is like going back in time. Because what you find at Tony's is what we used to do before we all stared at these little devices in our hands, right? You like to fish? Oh, my cow, everything you need for fishing, including some little lucky spots that he'll tell you about. But the finest poles and reels and weights, it matters, folks. It matters. I thought I was a bad fisherman until I went to Tony's and found out I was not using the proper bait.
Right.
Yeah, before I was fishing. Also, you mentioned bows as well, and the complex and compound bows. Great outdoor sport, great exercise. Might find a crossbow if you're fortunate.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, we hear about guns all the time. Well, in the South, we grew up with them.
That's right.
Right? We grew up with them, and we knew how to use them because we were taught by the best, and Tony will set you up like that. If you're needing a firearm or interested in getting to a firearm, take the person down there with you that you're interested in buying it for. Tony will talk to them a little bit, find out maybe are they getting this firearm because they're moving. They're going to be away from home for the first time. And by talking to them, Tony can set them up with the right firearm, because the firearm actually fits the hand. You just don't, give me a gun. You don't do that. You actually go and Tony can also let you know all about the open carry laws and all that. And if you're lucky, you'll get a free story or two from Tony. So, folks, what you need to do is go to Tony's Southern Sportsman, right down there by the Railroad Museum, right across the street, 693-4111, 693-4111. Keep these Southern traditions going by going to Tony's Southern Sportsman.
Man, we got 2 phone lines ringing already this morning. We're going to try to roll through these phone calls. We want to get everybody on the show today.
Absolutely.
So let's go to line 1 real quick. Hey, caller, good morning.
Mabel, who's that woman that's behind me? Oh, come on, guys. You know that answer.
Not since college. And that was only once.
It's Kamala.
Okay, what has she done now?
Oh, you haven't heard the good news? She's been put in charge of reducing gun violence. Now think about this. Tony ought to be happy. Because if she does for that what she's done for the border, there are going to be so many guns sold.
He can start closing at 3 o'clock. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Out of stock.
No, I did see. I did see where she was traveling around to different colleges, and
That's
saying,
scary.
Yeah, and yesterday she gave a nice little talk where she talked about the number one thing worrying our children today in college, causing the most anxiety, is climate change.
And I love electric school buses.
That's right. That's right. You and I, we all grew up with the weird fear. We all grew up with a weird fear of the, nuclear war, the Cold War. Yeah. We were so silly.
Hey.
It's climate change.
Hey, I did the stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah,
that's right.
And then under the desk,
earthquake drill.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
no, I was I was a son of a military man, so we were near the base. It was get under the table and let the nuclear bomb go over you.
I never understood the tornado drill, though. It's like, let's all line the kids up in the hallway, so when the doors are sucked off the building...
Yeah, that's going to completely protect you from the tornado,
right.
Yeah.
The kids will be sucked out like in a big straw. They're all gone, right? I mean, but I like that because it gave us a chance to, get by our... teacher wouldn't let you sit by your friends in school because you're going to goof up a little bit. But in those drills, of course, you can actually get side by side in the hallway and die together.
Hey, so that's where they came up with the idea of the flying nun.
I guess, yeah. That? Some of those Catholic schools probably.
Yeah. Yeah. The kids getting sucked out flying.
So what else is going on this morning?
Well, I just wanted to get that in about the gun commission or whatever that she's going to be in charge of.
Well, very good. So,
because I think the people need to know,
in
as
good hands.
Incompetent as she is, don't worry about not being able to go down and get you a gun.
Right.
Maybe we could combine them, take guns to the border. Could we combine the job?
That's the idea.
Yeah.
No, they don't like you doing that.
Well,
I don't know why. I think 20, 30 good old boys with the shotguns, go down there, fire up into the air, and scare them back over across the river.
All right, we'll get Mabel some breakfast. I got another call coming in behind you.
Yes, sir. Y'all have a great day.
Bye. There we go. Yeah, get Mabel fed before it gets too late this morning. So let's go back to line 2 this morning. Hey, caller, good morning to you.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, there he is, the mayor of Sicalina.
How are you, Mr. Mayor?
Well, I'm doing great, and I just want to give a shout-out to some of my friends. One of them had a birthday Wednesday, Ruby Martin, 102 years old.
Oh, Miss Ruby, happy belated birthday.
102.
Wow. 102. Yeah. Fantastic.
Her husband, Roy Martin, used to work at the worst location in the world, Bill Etheridge, that's Billy Jack's daddy.
Exactly.
He was down there he was a mechanic for the Lincoln Mercury dealer for years. He's passed away, but Ruby is still hanging in there, and had a stroke, and one side of her arm don't work, and she don't speak too good, but she is still going strong at 102.
I mean, she's just a little bit younger than the president. That's extraordinary. Mr. Mayor, I wanted to ask you, since you know Ruby Martin, and again, a belated happy birthday, 102, what do you think her secret to living such a long life is? She sounds like a very sweet person.
Well, I guess putting up with an old rowdy husband.
Yep.
Made her tough.
My wife now, if that's the element, my wife will live to be 500 years old.
I'm about to say, right? Yeah.
That will be starting. And Catherine Maxwell, another lady that I know, her niece that lives down the road from me, next Saturday, not tomorrow, Saturday week,
Mm-hmm.
she will be 108.
Wow.
On September 29th,
30th.
108.
Wow.
She'll be 108. And last I heard, she's still living by herself.
Wow.
Wow. That's extraordinary. Mr. Mayor, I have to point out here, you're giving us a lot of female names that are friends. Is there a pattern here I should pick up on, or?
Well, yeah, I think you get the point. Men just can't make it.
No. Well, I know one that seems to be doing pretty well. That's
the
fantastic.
only one I know that lived to be 105 was a friend of mine that lived in Cuba, Alabama, Dan Learman. And he was, somebody asked him, what made him to live so long. He said, well, you got to have good parents and drink 2 shots of vodka every day.
Oh, wow.
2 shots. All right.
Okay, that's
no more, no less.
Okay, 2 doses of vodka. That sounds good.
The vodka.
Oh, man. But anyway, this was fun Friday, so I hope everybody has a great day.
We will now.
Absolutely. I love it. One of my favorites right there.
I'm telling you, just the best. And
Yeah.
doing what he always does, Rob. He's calling and talking about and bragging about other people.
Absolutely.
And he doesn't like it when you brag on him. He doesn't like any
Yeah.
attention, but he loves the community so much and his friends, and that's just fantastic.
The longest running mayor in Lauderdale County, for sure.
That's right.
601-485-9191 here on Mornings in Meridian. And Kathy Anderson just commented on Facebook, I need to move to Cicalina for longevity.
It's in the water.
There's something in the water in
Yeah, it's in the
Cicalina
water.
for sure. So before we get going here, I got these 2 audio clips. We're going to kind of pick which one we're going to go with. But first, I want to tell you, there's a place that I like to go on Friday nights after football games that is delicious, and it's oh so good. And I always get my meal to go because I just want to go home and relax after a long night of calling a football game, and that is at the Queen City Truck Stop, the Magnolia Restaurant, exit 150, because I always go with the Biggie Burger on Friday nights.
And we talk about the food that you get. Generally, take home is not, it's got expiration date on it. It comes in a crimpy little wrapper. If you're going to pick up food and take it home and eat it, that is the only place I would do that from.
Yeah.
Because you're talking about fresh. Again, Magnolia Restaurant, Queen City Truck Stop, exit 150 right here. And as you know, their breakfast is amazing. The eggs, the meat, you can get the hash brown casserole if you want to, but you're supposed to really get it the way God intended it, just the hash browns.
Give me
right?
a stack of pancakes with bacon.
Oh, my gosh. And on Fridays, now we got, they do a very special lunch on certain days, right?
Fish Friday!
That's right. Good and fresh and not over fried.
Yeah.
Right? Because, you get that one tiny little piece, and then you get these big globs of fried, whatever that is they have. No. Healthy portions, great prices. And whether you eat breakfast there, lunch, or after the football game on Friday, you will find somebody also there eating that you know.
That's right.
And have a great visit.
The last 2 Friday nights I've stopped by there, I've seen 2 or 3 people. I know, hey, how'd the game go tonight? Just
right.
talking back and forth.
That's exactly right. And so, folks, what you can do is go by and see them. Exit 150 right here in Meridian, right next to the Queen City Truck Stop. That's the Magnolia Restaurant. And you can always give them a call if you want to and find out what they've got. They're open. And that's the easiest way to say it. They're open.
24/7.
That's right. So Magnolia Restaurant, Queen City Truck Stop, right there. Exit 150. Gas up your vehicle, gas up your belly. Great meal.
Here is a salute this morning to the voters of Pennsylvania. As we move along, it's time to play a round of Guess What Fetterman Said. John Fetterman, bless his heart, he's back in the news for a lot of different reasons. Of course, there's been a lot of controversy about the dress code up in the Senate right now, and I'm seeing a story up here on Fox News right now that the U.S. Senate has dropped the formal dress code for senators because he always wears his hoodies and all that kind of stuff, which whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But he is now saying that he will wear a suit to avoid the government shutdown if it takes that to make it happen. I'm like, ooh, what a bold move.
Just another great sacrifice by our public servants,
Exactly. Folks. But it's now time to play a round of Guess What Fetterman Said. This is from earlier this week. Can you guess what Fetterman is talking about? Here we go. Okay, let me get this queued up. All right, guess what Fetterman said.
My message to the CEOs is, it's $74 million, collectively earning that. How many yachts can they need, to water ski behind it? It's just crazy. I don't know.
Could you play that one more time? I think I might have it. Let's see.
My message to the CEOs is, it's $74 million, collectively earning that. How many yachts can they need, to water ski behind it? It's just crazy. I don't know.
I'm not laughing at it. It's sad. It really is. He's obviously got a lot of health problems, but that is the individual that voters in Pennsylvania voted in to be their senator. Well, that's scary.
It's
scary.
It's unfortunate that he did have a stroke, right?
And by the way, he's talking what he was referencing to there. The correct answer is he was talking about the UAW strike that's been going on for several days now. So that's what he was referencing to. But we just couldn't make it out because bless his heart. It is bad. Let's don't get. It's funny, but it's not really funny.
Well, hang on a minute. All right.
Yeah.
The fact that he's still in the public eye, all right, I think lends credence to what we're talking about.
Yeah.
First of all, the guy's 6'8" and has a goatee and he's bald. He looks like a James Bond villain. First of all.
Yeah, he does.
So you have that. Then he dresses like a basketball coach. Right.
Well, junior high basketball coach.
Right.
No offense to junior high basketball coaches.
But when I hear him speak, honestly, I'm reminded of two things. One, it's almost like trying to read a Scrabble board. You walk up in the middle of a game, you're just going to start reading it from left to right. Yeah. Or he's Floyd the Barber off the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah, possible.
And Howard McNear, the actor, he played that character that way, and had a stroke as well. So as long as he's in the public eye, I think we can talk about it.
My message to the CEOs is, it's $74 million, collectively earning that. How many yachts can they need, to water ski behind it? It's just crazy. I don't know.
It's just crazy.
We both agree with that. All three of us agree with that.
It's just crazy. $74 million is crazy. So, let's go back to the phone line. So I figured you'd like that. Guess what Fetterman said.
I love it.
Let's go to the phone line. Hey, caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How y'all?
We doing good for Friday. How you?
I'm here. Can't y'all separate people that can talk to the one that can't and get their butts out from up there? Biden's bad enough. God almighty.
Isn't it amazing? Well, the sad part about it is, these folks are up there, but I worry about the folks that actually voted them in. That's who I worry about.
Yeah. That's a double trouble there.
Yeah, big time. Look who they're sending up there. Biden, Fetterman, AOC, and the list goes on and on and on.
Well, they give vice president another job to do.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, good luck on that.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. I can't handle no more.
Yeah, it's... I don't know if it's the worst it's ever been, but it's got to be.
Well, caller, let me ask you this: maybe Fetterman's like Mel Tillis. He doesn't talk like that when he sings, right?
Oh God!
Right?
You remember the difference between staggering and don't know what the hell he's going to say to start with. If he's going to be there and play senator and stuff, he needs to take and do some after school work.
Yeah, and I think it's okay that we talk about it. I don't think I don't think at all it's hands off. He's staying in office. He's put himself in the public eye. But I wonder. I think he might be able to sing his stuff without having any trouble.
Maybe. Yeah.
And I do think part of it is nervousness because of what he's wrestling with. I think he does get stammered a few times even that way, and that lends to the problem. But if he's going to be out there, we should be able to talk about it.
Well, I'm going to give him the presidential award there for English and stuff. He started there and I listened and I said, oh my God.
All right, we got another call coming behind you, but appreciate you this morning.
All
right. Oh man, John Fetterman, bless his heart. Dr. Oz has got to be sitting back saying,
no.
What did I do wrong not to get anyway?
Medical doctor, loses to Fetterman.
let's go to line 2. Hey, caller, good morning. All right, we'll go to line. All right. Well, actually, we're going to hold off on the phone calls there because we got several more coming in because we need to take a commercial break here on Mornings in Meridian. So I didn't know the guess what Fetterman said would get that much reaction, but
It's
it
outstanding.
did.
Great bit.
So, we're going to take a break and take more of your phone calls at 601-485-9191. And also, we're going to get to that story involving Peter Ducey and Karine Jean-Pierre from yesterday. There's no crisis at the border. Yeah. None whatsoever. Also, we'll get back into the bond issue and go over those voting precincts again today. So it's a fun Friday. Rob and Toby hanging out with you. There you go, Toby. A little change up there is our good buddy Billy Jack Etheridge would always say that's some good toast burning music this morning.
I'm telling.
Joan Jett has a birthday today. She is 65. How about that?
How about that?
Also on the birthday list this morning, we've got Scott Baio has a birthday today.
Charles in Charge. Yeah. Or Chachi.
Can you guess the age?
Let's see, 70s. I'll say he's 68.
63.
Oh, okay.
So there you go. So Scott Baio's got a birthday today. Of course, Joan Jett. And other than that, kind of a weak list beyond those handful there. Well, born on this day back in 1927, he passed away a couple of years back. The late baseball Hall of Famer Tommy Lasorda.
Oh,
yeah, old
yep.
Tommy passed away a couple of years back. Of course, the great Dodgers manager. And yeah, so there you go.
The only man I've ever known not to lose his baby fat. He never lost his baby fat, you know?
What was it? Slim Fast or whatever it was that he did? Yeah, I thought that was a great endorsement.
But he kept messing up the commercials.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, because he'd say, if you only drink 10 of these, it's all you need to do for the day. And like, no,
Tommy, it doesn't work that way.
And Scott Baio's one of the rare conservatives in Hollywood.
You are right about that. So 22 minutes before we get to the 8 o'clock hour, let's go to the phone line. Caller holding. Hey, caller, good morning.
Good morning, true American patriot.
Hi. Oh.
I was listening to the commentary.
Hang on one second. Yep. Toby took his hat off and put it over his heart as you said that.
Oh, my God. Well, I hope somebody loves this country that people in D.C. don't sing to. But the commentary on Fetterman, he looks to me like Lurch that should be the crypt keeper in a cheap monster movie or something, you know?
That's what I was telling Rob, is that it doesn't help his situation. He's almost 7 feet tall.
Well, it's a high-class nursing home up there for some of them demon cats. And God's got a better place to put them where the heating bill has been paid for eternity. It's already paid in full. But, you know, here it is. We're worried about the Ukraine and their borders and their sovereignty, and we let ours just go to hell. No country on earth would allow an invasion like we have. And they use this semantics and these cutesy little words. Oh, don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Oh, they're migrants, and oh, they're sovereign citizens. And no, they're not. They're illegal, alien, criminal invaders. Real countries would stop that. They'd round them up, deport them,
and
shoot them.
And the thing about it is, it's folks from all over the world that are crossing that border. It's not just folks from Mexico and Venezuela. It's Chinese.
Vetted. Every disease known to man, every ideology, how many jihadists, how many Chinese spies, how many people that are wanting to do evil to America. We just open the gate, man, let them all in. But we don't want any of the Western European people that come here that actually have an education, actually want to protect and defend the Constitution, actually want to be a real American citizen, independent, not a parasite and a drag on the system, want to do something good for America. They're educated and they have skills, and all they want is to be an American citizen. Oh, but we can't have that because they're white. It goes down to race, and it always has, and it always will. They want these illegal aliens so they can mold them into being the new demon cat plantation people. They already got one group already on the plantation. They'll be there to the end of time because they got no way to get off now. They're locked into it. And they're going to do the same with this right here on the taxpayers' money. Now, we give over $100 billion to Ukraine. What have we done for our military? What have we done for our veterans? What have we done for American citizens, real American citizens? The American dream is for American children, not for DACA, not for all these cast-offs. Build a wall, secure the damn country. Round these people up. They have no legal standing right to be here. You're in violation of the Constitution if you protect these people. This sanctuary city, sanctuary state, direct violations of the Constitution. Are we just going to let that stand? And then when a few of them go to New York, they're squalling like a slap bitch. Oh, Lord God, we just can't take no more. Y'all go somewhere else. We're Libby's and we love everybody, but y'all go somewhere else. You know, and it's because you people that are woke are a joke. You're sick. You're mentally ill. But on a happier note, did you see the article about Shad White, about some of the programs and degrees and all that need to be reevaluated?
I did see that.
I did too, yeah.
Mississippi funded university. Well, maybe old Shad needs to take a look at this CTE. You know, how viable is this stuff? You know, and if it's going to be funded by taxpayers' dollars, let's get our money's worth. Shad White, man, is on top of this stuff. Man, he's exposing fraud, waste, and abuse. He's calling these people out. Let's maybe somebody that's got some kind of know-how. Let's get old Shad involved in this CTE, because it's got state money already in it, $8 million worth. And also, let's look at the legalities of this sneaky Pete special election thing. If it looks shaky, it probably is. But no, I think we need to put America first, and real Americans need to stand up for America. People that don't like it here, we want to fundamentally change. Go change it somewhere else. Go change it somewhere else. You know, there's probably 195 countries that you can go to, and maybe you'll be happy there. But we are not going to let the scum of the earth destroy this nation. Not at all. But we need to have a revival of American national pride. Put America first. Spend that money here. Worry about our borders and our nation and strengthening our military. We've been down this road how many times? We went in Korea. We went in Vietnam. We tried to go back to Cuba with the Bay of Pigs. We helped these people out, and then they stab us in the back. Zelensky and them may be as corrupt as these other people, man.
Yeah.
What if we just pick the lesser of two evils? 100 billion plus and no limit. They basically given him a blank check. Why is that money not spent in rebuilding the infrastructure of America, helping American veterans, helping people that are a good, loyal, true citizen of this country, that are down on their luck that need some help? No, we got to forgive everybody's college loan debt and just accept all these people and give. They treat the illegal alien that has no right to be here better than a decorated American veteran that has served his nation. Now, that's something that's horribly wrong and needs to change. If you're a demon cat, I hope God changes your climate to a much hotter place. Roger that.
Woo. He wants them to go to Florida? You know, I don't blame the folks that are coming. I really don't. I mean, if I was in a situation, and now I blame them. I blame the bad ones who come, right, and come in and for chaos. But the chaos is being caused here,
right?
So I direct the anger towards D.C. like some of what Haz was saying. Because if I was in another country and I had a chance to get here, and I knew that the door was open, and I was getting Social Security numbers, and I was getting driver's license, and maybe working my way, that's that is what is that's I think where the anger needs to be directed. And the other part is when you hear the melting pot argument, that is true. We are a melting pot. But when immigration in the past was, if they were fortunate enough to get in here, they knew they were going to have to learn English. Sure. They learned they knew they were going to have to learn the American work ethic. You didn't work, you didn't eat. kind of thing, right? And they also knew what they would take them some time, right? But now we have certain groups, not all of them, but certain groups come here, and they want to legally make the area they're going to just like where they left, the good stuff.
Right.
So they protest learning English. They protest putting their kids, in a 9-month school system. They protest having to work. Not all of them, but I don't blame the folks that are coming at all. I mean, when Biden opens the door and says, "Come on," and you're living where you're living, come on. But I just, it's in that minute, in those few minutes he was on the air, we got Fetterman, immigration, student debt, military, Ukraine, and there were like 4 more other things.
And Chad White.
And Chad White, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go back to the phone line this morning. Hey, caller, good morning.
Good morning. How are you, gentlemen?
We're doing great. How are you?
Gentlemen.
I'm doing okay, I guess.
Okay.
I have to say, this bond referendum, the more I dig into it, the more it keeps me up at night.
Right. Well, you called in the other day and we talked about it. So.
Yes. Yeah. And I've really been looking on the Lauderdale County School District's website, and they have this Q&A portion on their website where you can ask questions specifically related to the bond referendum.
Right, I've seen it.
And so I was looking at one of the questions because I keep hearing that the initial funds for this building, which we've obtained, I've heard people say that we've obtained them from the state. And I'm wondering, is that accurate? Is that where we obtain the funds from? Because when I look at a question from the page, it's basically asking, what about private and homeschool students? Can they attend the CTE Center? And the answer that's provided by the Lauderdale County School District says yes. Our federal funding references. So that has me confused. Is this state funding that they initially obtained, or is this federal funding?
Well, I can tell you the $8 million that initially that is state funds, and I can confirm that through Billy Adam Calvert. Me and him have had several discussions about that, and that is state dollars.
Okay, well, then what is the federal funding they're referencing?
That's interesting because I'm looking at the same thing you're referencing it's on the frequently asked questions portion, if I'm seeing that correctly here.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. It's on the Lauderdale County School website. Yeah, it's a whole list of questions here, but that is one that's on here, and that's interesting why they would put federal on there when the dollars are the $8 million was state.
Yeah, I think we need to ask what government agency the funds were obtained through, so that we can look into, because everything is governed by some type of legislation, whether it's state or it's federal. And so let's just hypothetically, if there are any federal dollars that are being poured into this CTE Center, as taxpayers, if we voluntarily vote for this bond, and let's say it passes, then if our taxpayer dollars are hypothetically infused with federal dollars that come with legislation in which governs it, what type of autonomy would we have if there was a program implemented in which we disagreed with? Would we still be considered a stakeholder because we would be applying a majority of the funds? If we're talking about 12.5 verse 8. I'm kind of concerned because when I read this, I guess since it's talking about the CTE Center, I was assuming that means, it doesn't say state anywhere in this. So that's what has me concerned. I feel like somebody needs to clarify, where the funding stream is located, because we want our local tax dollars. We still want to have autonomy and control if something is being implemented, some type of program that we don't agree with.
Yeah, I'm looking at the frequently asked questions, and it says, what about private and homeschool students? And it says, yes. Our federal funding references we should be willing to provide training for all students in our county. This is not a foreign concept, as these students already attend Ross Collins and many other CT centers across the state. That's the first line of that. It's a very lengthy answer to that question.
But where's the federal money?
Where's that? Yeah, when because federal is right there at the very beginning of that answer.
And when you have a chain of command like that, and you put the word federal in there, that quite often suggests it can be a shield to hide behind. If you do have a program that folks don't agree with, you can say, well, federally, we have to. We have to offer this program. Or they or they bring up the Constitution and particular rights and things such as that. But I caught the word too, and I just thought there was something I wasn't seeing, that because I know there was 8 million, now there's 6.5 million.
Yeah, because they've used the one, according to the school district, they've used 1.5, and that's a big, long list of stuff they've done. I mean, from asbestos to, gutting the building, whatever it might be. So that's what they've used on it. According to them, that's what they've used for it so far.
Where's the federal monies? What do they have right now federally, for this particular project? Yeah. Because it's not listed anywhere.
Yeah, and I would like to know that. And when I listen to Scotty Ray, I'm so glad he does what he does and what you guys do, because it allows people to have a voice and an outlet to talk about issues with our local community. So I do want to say thank you to both entities. But I watched because he filmed a school board meeting last night, and which I didn't even know they were having, but apparently they had one. And he streamed it live on Facebook. And there was something that was mentioned about distance learning, and that they are considering the ability of the schools to hold distance learning for people across the state. So, that came out as in that's something, we're looking into. But then when I looked on their website under the CTE program, one of the pamphlets, it said that was a part of this distance learning initiative. So I'm feeling as if we're not getting the whole scope of this program and the direction that it's going in, and what's already been discussed in the objectives. Because I do have one more thing to say. At the Southeast meeting, I was given a pamphlet by one of the Lauderdale County School District representatives, and it contained a cheat sheet. And, it has a few digital images that show the CTE Center, and then it has a pamphlet that talks about Accelerate Mississippi Symposium. And this looks as if this is something that was put together by Tate Reeves to address workforce and economic development.
Right.
And I'm wondering what that has to play into this as well, because, we need to know where all the programs are coming from and who's promoting it, who has the authority over the programs. And they had another item that says the big secondary CTE picture. And it says something that I was interested in: health science, healthcare and clinical services at Clarkdale, West Lauderdale, Northeast, Southeast, Ross Collins, as in this would be moved or relocated to the CTE Center. Does that mean HOSA? All these... Yeah, I mean, if you have a big secondary picture, I'd like to know what it is.
Yeah.
There's several: business, marketing, finance. And it says Clarkdale Northeast and Ross Collins soon moving to the LCSB CTE Center.
And again,
so I feel like
Go ahead.
Yeah, the big secondary picture needs to be communicated to us if you're already discussing it.
Right.
Yeah, the vagueness is what's concerning many people. The wording, again, you've done a great job explaining why the federal should concern folks. And the date of the election.
Yeah.
And has there ever been a reason, we touched on this yesterday, that they're having it in October instead of November?
Well, there's been a lot of different reasonings behind that, and we would be here till tomorrow morning talking about it. So.
Right. So you're talking about an off-year election anyway, so to speak. and because it's quite often it's easy to remember election day on the years that you have presidents or the
well, I mean,
like
it's,
that. But,
we got the
October.
We got the local elections coming up in November, and I feel like the turnout's probably going to be a lot weaker in November too, because everybody was running out for the primaries because of the sheriff race, obviously, but still have it on the same ballot. Same day, because we're all going to have to drive halfway across the world just to get to our voting precinct.
And see, that's the whole point. We covered this yesterday. It's a date people aren't used to on an issue that's quite vague, and you're voting in a different place where you normally vote.
Bingo.
And that sounds like who's ever driving the vote, yes or no, is going to win this thing.
Yeah.
And probably a pretty small number.
And caller, I think we talked about this too, is if folks, don't pay attention, they're going to end up going to their regular precinct, and when they get there, they're going to be like, well, I'm just going to go home now. So.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess because small things keep coming out and the way that the voting's structured and everything, I have a lot of concerns that there's been a lot of lack of transparency and maybe, I don't know. When you get that feeling, you start to suspect everything.
Sure. Absolutely.
And so I just feel like some of these questions need to be answered. The funding that's tied up in this, their secondary picture, which is what all programs are you moving away from the schools, and are the teachers, students, and parents aware of your initiative?
Right.
Because, this has all been posed, in my opinion, but when I first heard about it, that this was somewhat for the students that were caught in this cycle of not being able to get higher paying jobs. And now when I look at it, this looks like, I don't know, there's a lot of pathways that are higher education, post-secondary education. And so I just, I think we need to get the picture straight because, we need to know exactly what all's being transferred here and why. But I appreciate y'all taking my call and everything, and I hope y'all have a good rest of the morning.
Thank you so much for your call. Have a good weekend, okay?
Yep, you too. Bye-bye.
I know a lot of folks don't have the time, but I wish every voter would look at every issue with the thoroughness that she is. Yay or nay?
Yeah, exactly. Since we're on the issue, I know we're right up on Fox News. We may join Fox News in progress. You'll get over it. You'll be fine. The voting locations, once again, for this special election on October the 3rd. The precincts that you usually vote in. I always have to say, this is the ones you usually go to whenever they're open. If you vote at Bailey, Center Hill, Collinsville, Martin, or Sickalina on October 3rd, you will vote at West Lauderdale Elementary. If you usually vote at 17 Causeyville, Odom, Vimville, Wynot, or Mount Gilead, you will vote at Southeast Middle School. If you usually vote at the Landing on 39, New Lauderdale, Daleville, East Lauderdale, Marion, Kewanee, Russell, or Toomsuba, you will vote at Northeast Middle. And if you usually vote at Pickard, Clarkdale, Meehan, South Nellyburg, or Zero, you will vote at Clarkdale Attendance Center. And don't forget, reference your voter registration card. If it has the letters SEP under your school district, it'll be on the far right-hand side of your voter registration card. You are not eligible to vote in this special election, but if you have a number under your school district, you are eligible to vote. And remember, folks that live inside the city limits are not eligible to vote. If you have any questions, call Donna Jill Johnson's office at 601-693-1683. That's 693-1683. And or you can just give us a call here at Mornings of Meridian, and we'll be sure to answer those questions for you. So, all right, we're going to join Fox News in progress, and we'll return with our next hour in just moments.
Who did get a package of additional weapons and aid from President Biden.
More artillery, more ammunition.
At 102.1 and on Facebook Live this morning as well, WALT Talk Radio. Be sure to go like us and follow us. About 11 minutes into the 8 o'clock hour and a very busy first hour. And our phone line is 601-485-9191. Rob and Toby in this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
And we did have some phone calls during off air. Of course, whenever the bond issue is brought up, it gets a little emotional.
A little bit.
So... The folks that are annexed, that are annexed in the city of Meridian, of course, when you read the language that we are provided with from Donna Jill Johnson, we go by what is provided us, and we simply read what is on there. If you have a question about that, you need to call Donna Jill Johnson's office at 601-693-1683. So that would be the best way to go about that, because we're just kind of, reading stuff, just the little machines reading the information to you.
Yeah, and the confusion, if you've been annexed, your kids go to county schools, but you've just recently been annexed, so can you, right. So.
Yeah, so to be honest with you, if you have a question about that, call Donna Jill's office at 601-693-1683. Before we get to our next phone call, let's thank our friends over at A&A Glass.
Oh, I'm sitting here telling you, I might have mentioned a couple times on the air, I just, lost my home back in April to a tornado. And when the garage collapsed on my car, it, of course, just totaled the windshield, right? And around Meridian, I see people driving quite a lot with a lot of cracks in their windshield. And folks, if you've got so many cracks in your windshield that people are calling your car Nancy Pelosi, you need to go to A&A Glass. All right? They're simply the best in the business. What did I say? I don't write this stuff. I don't know. I'm just reading some notes here.
You're welcome.
Billy Jack left for me. No, A&A Glass, folks. 693-GLASS, 693-4527. Windshields aren't what they used to be. I mean, now they contain quite often the little dots you see along the top of your windshield. Right. That's some of your sensor work there. Your radio signal works through there as well. And if your windshield is compromised, if it has some sort of ding or big crack in it, it's not only going to not work with those particular elements, but it's not going to hold up at an impact either. And do what it's supposed to do. So go by and see them. A&A Glass. It's still their new location, but everyone I think has gotten used to it.
Yeah.
It's down by the Children's Museum, basically just a couple doors down. So go by and see them. The cool kids say call 693-GLASS. Old people like me say 693-4527. A&A Glass.
All right, we got a guest in studio. Before we get to that, let's take this quick phone call here on Mornings in Meridian. Hey, caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey.
I was listening earlier to the lady that called in, and y'all were discussing the Q&A on the Lauderdale County site. So I went to read the question and answer, and what concerns me is toward the bottom when it talked about we want to fill the seats, but if they're not filled, we don't want to leave them open. So we will go to the local businesses and industry to fill them. Well, those are adults. So are there limits on the age of these adults, and are they mixing with our high school students? And the night of that Southeast meeting, when he was talking about how many kids were interested right now, they don't have many interested. So my thought is, then is it going to be mainly for these businesses to train people, but it's on our tax dollar? And the other question was, I wish that lady could visit the schools like representatives for the bond have been visiting the schools and talking about it. I wish she could go on and say what she has found.
Right.
Anyway, I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
I appreciate that. Appreciate your phone call this morning.
Good call. Another good question.
Well, I mean, the more you start to peel things back, I mean, there are a lot more questions than answers right now. I mean, and I will give the school district a lot of credit. I mean, they are being somewhat transparent. The reason I say somewhat is because when you're transparent like they are right now with these Q&A type questions on their website, there's still more answers on the back end that's not being fully provided to folks because,
And maybe some of the questions don't have answers at this time.
Yeah.
But some of these that we're receiving from, again, outstanding callers.
But when we
serious questions.
But we're getting a week out from this, and folks are getting a little antsy.
That's right.
And when they start to really, and I really appreciate folks really getting themselves involved in this and really asking those difficult questions. I hope they continue to do that because there's 2 more of these open discussions with the school district next week. So we'll go over those dates and times with you before we get out of here this morning. But Toby, we're going to switch gears this morning because you've got a good friend and a guest in the studio this morning.
I have Dr. Meridian Swindell. Folks, pull over in your cars right now and go to Facebook.
No, don't.
And her
Yes, do.
her beverage actually matches her outfit, right?
Ah,
isn't that nice?
Look at you.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
No, Dr. Swindell's been at, she's a graduate of Alabama. I believe Forrest Gump, I think, was in your class, if I remember correctly.
Wow. He's coming right out of the gate hard
And-
this morning.
Big time.
Wow.
Get into that mic, too, by the
Well-
way. Pull that
Oh,
mic
is that
up there.
better?
There we go. Yeah, get that mic up there.
Okay.
And she has been at Mississippi State since 2001. I've, of course, known her since I arrived in state in 2008. Once had a huge crush on her.
Oh.
Wow.
We were all out to eat as a department. I had an orange crush and I spilled it. Yeah. And
That's not funny.
and
not.
well, there was one time I did give you about 8 kisses. But it was Christmas and it was those red
ones.
red
Yes.
green ones, you know.
Yeah, that happens
And,
sometimes,
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
All right.
Miriam wants me to die.
He's been
My beard, so it doesn't look so
He's
gray.
been writing those all morning.
I know. Yeah, he probably stayed up last night doing that.
It's not me, it's the medicine. All right. But Dr. Swindell, professor of social work, everyone knows her in the community, and because she's always working in the community, especially in social work. And I've told her numerous times that she has dealt with particular things, especially children, I couldn't handle.
Right.
I could not handle. So we have a workshop coming up. It's not at Mississippi State. You work at Mississippi State, and we have lots of room at Mississippi State, but you're having it where?
I'm having it at Meridian Community College.
Okay, right across the street.
Right, right across the street or down the street at the Workforce Development Center.
But right across or down from the College Park campus.
That's right.
Right? And this is foster parents training workshop tomorrow going from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Foster parents training workshop. And I asked you, I said, is this for people who are interested in foster? And you said, no. You said people have to do this kind of training who are foster parents.
That's right. Foster parents are required to have 10 hours of education or CEUs every year to remain certified. And so a lot of times foster parents, because they're working and they have children, they've got biological children, foster children, they struggle to get these hours. And so my students that have graduated and are now social workers came and said, listen, will you help us with this? And I was like, sure. What do I need to do? And they said, we need someone to teach about children's issues, about mental health, everything related to raising children. And so I said, sure, why don't we do this twice a year, 5 hours at a time, to make sure these foster parents don't have another stressor in their life so they can keep these children in their home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And-
so I'm excited about it.
And this one now is already booked solid, right?
It is booked solid, and MCC has just rolled out the carpet for this event, and the largest room that they have seats 120. Well, we have between 120 to 200 that want to attend, so I've got people calling me on my cell phone and Facebooking me, can I still attend, like from all surrounding counties.
Wow.
And so I just keep texting the social workers and say, okay, these people are coming, these people are coming. So, you know, there's a huge need. And in social work, we're supposed to critically problem solve to find these needs. And MCC has just been incredible. They've given us the venue. They've filled out all the paperwork. It's been unbelievable.
Yeah, Tom and them are okay. I can say that because I'm an employee there, too.
Okay.
They send us some great students.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
my
do.
They
They're
really
They're
do.
great folks over
But
there.
for those who are interested in this and maybe didn't know about it or can't make tomorrow or hearing that it's booked, you said you're going to be doing 2 of these a year?
Yes. 5 hours at a time.
And again, it's 9 to 2 tomorrow. So any idea when the next one will be?
It's probably going to be maybe December, again from 9 to 2. We haven't set the date yet.
Sure. But there'll be another one this calendar year.
Yes.
Okay. Now, can you talk about what are some of the things that you will be doing tomorrow that people who are listening to us and are already going to be there, what are some things they're going to interact with and see?
Well, they're going to. I'm taking the training kind of a little bit different. I'm going to talk about the brain and how the events that these children have been through has changed their brain development, brain architecture, and so they're coming into homes with a lot of trauma already. And sometimes these foster parents are like, I don't know what to do. I've done everything. They've got a safe place to live. They've got great food. They're going to school. It's a safe environment, but they're still really acting out, more so than like just children that are growing up in the homes, because they're coming with so much neurological trauma. And so we're going to talk about the difference between a child that's been sexually abused versus a child that's been physically abused versus neglect, because all of those phenomenon change the brain in different ways, and they change different areas of the brain. So we're just going to do some talk about brains and how we can rewire trauma in the brain, and we're going to talk about parenting stress and the needs of foster parents in this state, so our next training can be even better and more phenomenal. We're going to open it up. We couldn't open this one up to the entire state.
Right.
Wow.
But our next one, we're going to open up, I think, to the entire state. So, I mean, churches have been incredible reaching out. Trinity Presbyterian, Mac Barnes said that I could use his sanctuary, and I was like, oh, I'm not standing up in front behind the pulpit for 5 hours. The flames will find me.
No.
And Mac Barnes was just like, listen, whatever you need, you can do. And then Highland Baptist has been incredible. And it just turns out that MCC has the biggest venue that's not a sanctuary. I don't want to be behind the pulpit in the sanctuary. So,
well, it seems like to me, if you're so worried about hellfire and damnation and torment, as my grandmother used to say, that's the perfect place for you to be.
Well, it is interesting though with this event right here, because it is important. I know a lot of foster parents do get very frustrated when they bring a child into the home, not understanding fully what they've gone through. It's like, I'm doing everything. I guess in their mind they're saying, hey, I'm checking all the right boxes, but they feel like they're doing something wrong, but they're not doing something wrong. It's something that's happened in the past that they don't have full control over. So
you're so right.
Yeah.
I mean, foster parents take it personally.
Yeah, and they shouldn't.
They really shouldn't.
Yeah.
So, we do a lot of just training on, and when the child acts out this way, these are some alternative behaviors and responses that you can do.
Sure.
So,
Dr. Swindell, in all of her work, and she was actually at a conference, she's part of a pretty big conference even yesterday, and when you were talking about your social work, former social work students calling you and saying, can you help? And you're like, sure, that's what she does. Right? Like you and I yesterday were talking about time off, and I was concerned about how hard you were working. And I said, I had to learn that there's a hole in the calendar. It doesn't necessarily have to be filled.
Sure.
She doesn't know what that means. And what I love about her work is that she concentrates on who you expect her to concentrate on a particular issue, right?
Right.
But she also recognizes that there's also collateral damage being done. And so when people hear that we've decided to be foster parents, people around them go, hey, that's great. And they never take the next step and think how it will affect the people being the foster parent, because they only want what's best for the child, provide the child something perhaps the child's never had, and they're putting a little extra jam on the bread than they did with their own kids, because they realize the child's coming, but knowing it's kind of like sympathy and empathy.
Sure.
You can say, I'm so sorry. That's sympathy. I'm so sorry because I've been what you've been through. That's empathy, right? And it's really tough sometimes for foster parents to give themselves a break a little bit and realize you're doing a tremendous job.
Yes.
And here's some extra tools and skills we can teach you. So but my point is, you're helping both. You're helping the child and you're helping the foster parents.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the things I wanted to do was, oftentimes foster parents don't get respite. And so their romantic relationships suffer. And I reached out to one of my students whose father owns a whole bunch of real estate at the beach. Like, he rents out condominiums. And so I was trying, and I'm still trying, to get the condominiums for free for the foster parents, or take foster children away for a weekend to the beach and let the families, let the parents just kind of get back to that romantic part of their relationship.
Which is important.
It is because that family unit needs to stay together, and so we need to support that family unit. So, still working on that.
Well, you're doing a tremendous amount of work, and again, without going into any detail, she's talked about some of it here. But what you have done, especially when it comes to children, I can't handle kids hurting or pets hurting, dogs, things. I can't handle that. I go to my most base, what's the emotion called? Rage. Yeah.
Yes, rage. Lots and lots of rage.
Right, and you've got the patience of Job.
Well, I vacillate between trying to help children, and then when I get too emotional, like I'll do dog rescue or cat rescue, and then that's just as emotional. So for the people here in Meridian that do dog rescue, they need money. Like they need dog food, cat food, vet bills paid, and that hurts my heart too because dogs and cats can't tell us that they're hurting. Teenagers can tell us that they're hurting. They just refuse to. They don't want to talk to us. So, just giving back to the community and trying to uplift people because times are hard right now, spiritually, financially. Like, you just need to love on each other in an appropriate way and get along.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be nice. Just be nice.
And so many people are saying, the world has changed, and it's the old cliche, but you don't have to let it change you.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's a great point. Yes.
It's Mornings at Meridian. Of course, we're hanging out here on a Finally Friday. Real quick before we get to our next break here, let's thank one of our other great sponsors here on the show, Toby. And you talk about third generation right there. That's Barbara & Sons Plumbing.
Absolutely. And as I've said so many times, I wish they had a branch in Tupelo. And speaking of, marriages and having problems with marriages, Barbara & Son has saved a lot of marriages. I've talked about this before. The husband's under the sink. He's all cramped up in there. So the wife's under the sink. Hand me this, hand me a screwdriver. Phillips head. Well, you didn't say Phillips head. You're right.
That'd be a flat head.
Well, I said the starry-looking thing.
Right.
And then you start arguing. Then you bring up her mother and the mole. And then there's a big fight, and there's a divorce, right? Barbara & Sons Plumbing can save your marriage and save your flooring, your carpet. Just call them, folks, if you've got a plumbing issue. If you're in a house that's a little older, they talk to them about coming out and checking your stuff. They do commercial as well. And quite often residential, they will teach you what you need and how to do it, I always felt like, well, they're costing themselves some money. But no, actually, because when I had big issues, I always went back.
Yeah.
You can do the exact same thing, folks. 1123 26th Avenue, Barbara & Sons Plumbing, 482-7023. All the parts you need, all the know-how you need. 482-7023, Barbara & Sons Plumbing.
I always go back to my my clutch phrase with Barbara & Sons. If you're leaking confidence, call Barbara & Sons.
Nice. Nice.
Try to get Gary to put that on a T-shirt.
Yeah, that's better than Mama's Mole.
Mama's Mole.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. We're having a lot of fun here on a Fun Friday, and Toby, we're going to take a break real quick. And I know you've got your song lyrics ready to go.
Yeah, can Dr. Swindell stay for this?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Excited. So we're going to sing.
The Maren Morris story that we talked about briefly yesterday.
Yeah.
You've got song lyrics that you have. Did you write these yourself?
Yes, I did.
Wow, look at you.
And if nobody likes them or they're offended, no, I did not.
There you go. So, yeah, the next segment, offensive radio. So there you go. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back in just minutes. There you go, Toby. Some Joan Jett on her birthday.
And again, her age?
65 today.
Man.
65.
Isn't it strange how you can hear a song and you can remember exactly where you were the last time? The last time I heard that song, Ron Walton with Ron's Pool Service had fixed our swimming pool. Great guy, great job. And that was on the radio, and I was on a float in the middle. And I fell asleep.
You fell asleep.
And when I woke up, I didn't know where I was. And as far I knew I was in the pool, but I'm like, I think I'm in the deep end. And I was in the shallow end. And my foot was in the skimmer. Isn't that strange?
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I know that's weird, but that song sparked all that.
Ooh. Your Joan Jett memory. I love it.
That's right.
601-485-9191 is our number here at Mornings in Meridian. And, hey, let's talk about Doc's Toyota real quick. Of course, short drive up to Philadelphia, Highway 16 West, or online at docstoyota.com.
The website's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can get on there and see what they've got on the lot and what they can get for you. I still call them a new dealership. Yeah, he's been satisfying people for quite a while now. But new dealership, new attitude when it comes to working with you on prices and things like that, and new inventory. All of that is Doc's Toyota. Now, again, up in Philadelphia. But, don't mind the drive because you'll be driving back in a fantastic car.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And whether you're talking about pre-owned or talking about new, and Doc doesn't try to come at you with all these, hey, you can get, you have to pay this extra tax and this extra little thing to have, the non-stained seats or whatever. But Camrys, Tacomas, Tundras, Runners, he's got them, folks. And whoever you're thinking about getting a vehicle for, we've got Christmas coming up. Might want to be the greatest dad in the world, right? Well, just go up there and tell Doc or his staff, who you're looking to buy for, how much they drive, and he'll find you something that's great, economical, and safe. Folks, you always want to feel better when you go to the doctors. You will feel so great when you go to Doc's Toyota. That's 15120, all right, Highway 16 West, 15120, Highway 16 West. You can also give them a call at 601-600-3786, 600-3786. Guess what? They're open now, and guess what? They're open tomorrow as well. Go by and see them in Philadelphia. That's Doc's Toyota.
You can't miss them. They're up there on the left when you go to the gambling house.
That's right.
I'm on their website right now. They've got a beautiful 4Runner, and then they've got a nice TRD Tacoma off-road V6 double cab. Like, nice.
Can't help but notice you mentioned two vehicles, and you have two sons, driving age.
I do have two. Oh, I do have two sons.
Yeah.
I do have two sons.
What are you pulling out, a DNA test or
Look.
something?
Oh, look at this on Facebook.
Can you believe this? Michael, look. Toby used to carry Nicholas and Michael up the wall.
Like Spider-Man, I would push
Yeah.
them on the one. Yeah.
Look at that. There they are.
Look.
I love it.
They're so sweet. I love them so much. Hey, Michael and Nicholas.
And now they're gonna be
I love you. I love you so much.
They're going to be like, oh, Mom. Oh, God.
This moment preserved forever.
Yes.
YouTube, Facebook.
It is now logged in forever.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what else is logged in forever. These song lyrics coming up from Toby. These are golden. Of course, we need to set this up properly. Like you have to do anything in radio, you need to set it up properly. Of course, Maren Morris. Can we call her a country singer? She's an artist, singer, whatever they call themselves.
She's won a Grammy and a few things.
She's won a Grammy and other few things. But she made a comment a few days ago about where country music is at right now. That country music, the songs that are out now, are going back to its racist roots.
That's right. That's right.
So Toby has done something a little interesting.
Yeah, I've done some research. Yeah, because she said, music's supposed to give voice to the voiceless. She goes, that's music's main thing, right? And which is funny when you consider Beethoven was deaf. But,
correct.
But anyway,
yeah.
But her numbers are kind of down. This is a way to get some publicity. And she said music is returning to its racist, roots.
Yeah,
it's sexist roots. So I thought I'm gonna do some research and see if I can find what some of these songs were originally called.
I can't believe did she use the word woke at any point?
No.
She used racist roots.
Yeah, racist roots.
Right.
Yeah,
all right.
And so these are some interesting songs that if she would rewrite these songs, maybe how she would rewrite them.
Okay.
Right. So we all know mamas don't let your babies grow up, right?
Right. Yep. Yeah. Classic.
Well, being the fact that she's far left and woke. Right, hers would be, "Mama, don't let your babies grow up."
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. He, him, they stopped loving she, her, they today.
Today.
Let's see here.
That's my favorite one.
Yep. Man, I feel like a woman today.
Okay.
Today. Oh, there you go.
That's right.
Today, yeah.
Well, this morning, because it can change by afternoon.
Sure.
Yeah, the
And
identity.
that's okay.
Identity may change by 2 o'clock. So
To the green, green grass of my dispensary. You know, a little marijuana dispensary.
yeah,
right?
yeah.
See, we don't do pot, so we didn't really get that one. That's okay.
a nod to the devil's lettuce.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Dolly Parton's coat of many colors, except white.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. 16 tons. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. That's not a song title. That's the weight of the host of The View. Okay.
Toby Bates.
Let's see.
Whoa.
I didn't write this.
Time out.
That's right. Someone else.
Blame our writers.
That's right. You're writers.
Blame our writers. Kiss an angel good morning.
And-
As long as you remember that there is no God.
And there's got to be informed consent.
Yeah, sure.
Oh gosh.
I was born a coal miner's pansexual cousin.
Where did he get this from? Your
Our
writers. Your
Our
writers down the
writers,
hall.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's that guy in the broom closet down the hallway.
Yeah, we talked about this one yesterday. I saw the light of the flashlight from the racist cop who pulled me over last night. So that's going. Can the climate be unbroken? All right.
He's on a roll.
All the sexists live in Texas.
Oh god.
Love my genders, love them true, which I thought was really sweet, really sweet. And then the last one, and I thought they did well on this one. Yeah, take this job and shove it. I ain't working here no more. You don't believe in equity or my genders, of which I have 4. So Marion Morris is going to come out with those songs and make tons of money and make all the cool shows, and we won't know her name in a year.
It sounds like one of those. What is it? The commercials that air the Time Life greatest songs of all time.
Oh, yeah.
That you'll have a commercial now to be like classic hits like this.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. The old K-Tel records. Yeah. But I mean, to broad brush the way she did, again, you can always tell somebody on the far left because they hold their hands like this because their wrists are so sore from broad brushing.
Oh yeah.
Right. And to come out and say, I'm leaving country music because, lately it's kind of, some songs have gotten very popular that I think send the wrong message, that's fine.
Right.
If that's what you believe, I think you're wrong, but okay, fine. But then to say it's returning to its racist roots, if you go, and this is the great part about history, if you go back and look at the origins of bluegrass and country music, a lot of the artists, by the way, were black.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
So, Marion Morris, again, she's someone that when I heard about this, my first reaction was, who?
Yeah, I've never heard of her.
Is that a baseball player?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Marin.
But she's got a few headlines now, and I've tried to give her, or the writers have tried to give her a few hits there. So
she's good. She has her 15 minutes of fame right now.
Yeah. 13 and counting.
You're welcome.
Okay.
There you go. Let's go to the phone line. You may have a critic here on the line here. Let's see.
Oh.
Hey, good morning, caller. Welcome in.
Good morning. How y'all doing this morning?
Oh,
Good. We're good.
a lot of foolishness, but we're having fun.
But you know what? Just show her the door and say to her, don't let the door hit you, but the good Lord split you. Let her go with that.
Okay.
Well, that's a good title, too.
That is. Put that on the list. Tell your writers.
I am one of the writers. Yes,
It's one of the
course.
writers. There you go. There we go.
I mean, yeah, can you believe biting the hand that fed you that hard?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, Taylor Swift was country,
Yes,
and then
that's
she
right.
realized she could make more money writing songs about all the boys that dumped her,
Yeah.
right?
She's a gazillionaire now.
But why burn those bridges so bad, right?
Anyway, that's all I got to say.
That's all I got. Thanks. All right. Thanks, Forrest.
That would be a good title, though.
Oh, that is good. So it's Mornings in Meridian. And I tell you what, who else we need to thank on our sponsor list over there, Mr. Bates?
Again, another company I wish was in North Mississippi, ready to roof.
Sounds like a trend here. You just want to move everybody up to North Mississippi
Well,
now.
I've moved up there because of my grandkids, but all the great people are down here with the businesses.
Yeah.
Folks, WALT doesn't just let anybody advertise on the radio. All right, these are people that we know and people that we've used and people that have fantastic reputations. Because if we're letting them advertise and we're telling you to go to them, our neck's kind of on the line too. And Ready to Roof is one that I want you to talk to, want you to go by and see. Well, my roof's just fine. Well, let them come out and look at it. I'm not going to charge you a dime for coming out and looking at it. Maybe it just needs a slight repair. And if you do need a new roof, you want people who know what they're doing. Right? Because when your roof starts getting old, it's when you start finding those little cards on your doorknob. Ralph's Roofing.
Ralph's Roofing.
Yeah. And it's written in pen, right? And the S is backwards, right? Ralph's Roofing, rather. And it's a number, and you call them, I can probably get over there.
Right, sometime.
Next month. That's right. Can you pay me in advance, right?
Right.
You don't need that, folks. Ready to Roof is Meridian's only Master Elite certified roofing company. It worked for you. You are the boss. They'll put, and a lot of people don't realize that roofs come in different colors, different shades of the shingles and things like that. And quite often they can match the roof to the outside of the house if the house has changed since the roof was first put on. So give them a call. Let them come out and look at it. Get a free estimate, right? 601-573-1150. 601-573-1150. Get ready to use the best. Ready to Roof.
Let's go back to the phone line. Hey, caller, welcome in.
It's not working.
It's not working.
Bidenomics is not working.
It is working.
Hey, you have to whisper so low because you don't want anyone to really know it's not working.
Sounds like my man on the street out there. What's going on?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we can say ladies and gentlemen for a change.
There you go. Yeah.
Good morning. Who got there this morning? Who's our gentle lady this morning?
My name is Meridian Swindell. I am.
Well, welcome to the family, Miss Meridian.
Well, thank you, kind sir. I appreciate that.
Gentle lady. Nope.
Hey, listen. All these negative advertisers, when they do their negative campaign, I never hear a follow-up what their plan is. But they throw negative jabs, and we don't hear what you're going to do. And a lot of times you in certain positions, hey, you decide certain thing according. A lot of it looks really, really good, but hindsight tells you something different. But hey, we can't live by hindsight.
Nope.
Okay?
That's right.
So give me an example. Give me an example where something's got under your skin like that.
Well, your man, he always talking about Tate Reed was always on the left side of this. Anything, whatever Tate had done, Mr. Reed has done. Is he Kennedy? No, Presley.
Yeah, Presley. Yeah.
Said, well, he did this and this happened. Okay, but the state is still moving forward. We're moving forward as better as we ever have. That's what I look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Brandon would tell you we're moving forward like going over a cliff. I can't wait till they actually debate.
I can't either.
So
They're supposed to. They
really?
still ain't got it scheduled yet. They're hopefully soon.
Okay, that is going to be an interesting debate.
Is it scheduled?
Not yet.
Okay, not yet. Okay. Well, yeah, and I wanted to say that because, and another thing, I love babies, I love families, and all that kind of stuff. But I don't care about nobody putting their families out there trying to promote this. Seriously. It is what are you going to do for the state or the country? That's what's most important. I appreciate your families, but that does not influence me like that.
Sure.
Politically. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So just do something for the state and keep us moving forward. Do something for the country and put us first. And I'm listening in.
Right, and give us a plan. Like, spell it out for us. Like, how are you going to move the state forward? How are you going to bring and increase the economy in Mississippi? What's your 5-year goal, your 6-year goal? Spell it out. I need it spelled out for me. And I really appreciate when candidates talk about what they have done and what they are going to do instead of bashing another candidate.
And they're going to guarantee is what they say they're going to do. They're going to stick to it or y'all can get rid of me.
That's right.
So don't tell me something and you get in and you do something else. Right. You gone. If you don't keep your promise what you're going to do, you gone. Because that's a lot of that be happening too. So stick to your guns.
All right, my man. Appreciate you this morning.
All right. Well, we're listening in as much as we can. up and down on our knees. We drilling and hammering and banging, but we listening when we get a chance.
There you go. Appreciate you. Have a good weekend, okay?
All right, y'all do the same.
See you.
Sounds like me at church. I'm on knees, up and down, and I listen when I can.
There you go. Let's go back to the phone line this morning. Hey, caller, welcome in.
Good morning, guys. It's Elmo.
It's Elmo.
I just wanted to correct the last caller. He didn't ask the proper pronouns for the lady on the radio.
Oh.
Oh,
He didn't
wow.
ask to use the proper pronouns, but it's okay. Elmo doesn't care because Elmo's a monster.
You are a monster because you got Kermit the Frog kicked off that show.
Well,
Kermit was the
Elmo
host.
wants to tell everybody that they love him and to have a great Friday.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
He's like, all right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I shouldn't hate Elmo as much as I do, but he's red like a communist. And Kermit the Frog was the leader of Sesame Street. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yes, he
Hi-ho,
was.
hi-ho. And,
he was.
and the Eyewitness News. And he started messing around with that pig, and his whole life went to crap.
Let's go back to the phone line. Hey, caller, good morning.
Hey, how you guys doing this morning?
We're just we're just having a blast.
Great. Well, look, at 65 years of age, I am so disappointed. My maternal grandmother reared me, and all we had to listen to was country music when we were coming up. I am so disappointed that my grandmother exposed me to such racist lyrics as the fighting side of me. When you're running down my country, man, you walking on the fighting side of me. I hate those
Right.
racist
Who
kind of
is
lyrics
this
like
person?
that, you know. And I just hate those kind of lyrics that says that she looked so good in love when I married her 37 years ago. I just hate those racist kind of lyrics. They should just ban that. It should be the FCC should be called in. Not only should the FCC be called in, Rob, but the Federal Communication Commissioner should be called in.
Now, call them all in. Get them off the air.
That's right.
Call them all in. I mean, what racist lyrics, my goodness. I don't know how I survived listening to that stuff.
Oh,
Did you see where they're going back on television and they're changing the reruns? Even like, hee-haw is not going to be known as he-her.
No.
It's just,
Isn't that sad?
man. I wonder one day am I going to be able to go into the store and buy peanut butter and jelly? I don't know.
Oh man.
It's just get too crazy sometimes, folks. I pray for our children. I don't know. They're
Thank
subjected
you.
to so much. It's just too much.
Yeah.
But listen, I just want to weigh in and just, you all don't play any of that racist music. If you do, I'm going to turn you off. Rob, as you would say, I'm going to call the law.
I don't call it law.
Hey, you guys hey, Rob, I got to ask you this before I go, though. You guys got a game tonight?
Yeah, we're going to be up in Columbus tonight against Heritage Academy. Yeah, we'll be on the air tonight. Yep.
Look, try to keep your cool.
No, that ain't my style.
I know. Well, look, you all have a good weekend.
Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
In reference to the caller, he does the games for Lamar.
Okay.
And I listen to it just to hear him say touchdown Raiders.
Okay.
Because my team's not scoring a lot lately. And I got so tickled listening to the last game, which is a huge upset of Jackson Academy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Huge upset.
Okay.
And the timekeeper was a little slow on the draw, and so Rob got kind of heated about the clock on the
he didn't.
game clock.
He didn't have a good night. Let's just say that at all. We're going to take a break, and we'll be back to wrap up the show after this.
Sang with it, yeah.
I know.
Yeah. When's he going to say the chorus again?
I'm a brand new man.
Yeah.
Or whatever
Can
you
I
want
sing
to.
this?
No, well, actually, it's actually I'm because it's about racist cops, right? So I'm a black young man, right? I saw the light of the flashlight of the racist cop who pulled me over last night.
Oh, I love it.
I'm going to get out and run again. And so
we got just 2 minutes left here. We need to thank one of our sponsors before we get out of here, and that's Jeffrey Wilson State Farm. So
State Farm is my insurance. They have been a godsend. Yeah, they've been a godsend during this tornado time since April. And folks, you can save almost $900 when you combine your home and auto insurance. That is not anything to sneeze at. So State Farm agent Jeffrey Wilson, he can help you do that. He'll answer all your questions. He'll look over the policy that you want. He'll suggest things sometimes if he thinks that you need something. And sometimes he can also save you money by saying, well, actually, you don't have to lump this in together. You can actually move this over. And just a brilliant guy, and will listen to you. That not only will talk to you, but will also listen to you. So give him a call. Jeffrey Wilson with State Farm, guys. It's been 6 months. They took good care of me on tornado. These are the people you want. 601-483-8253. That's 601-483-8253. All right, Jeffrey Wilson. He'll become not only your agent, he'll become your friend, really, and save you a lot of money and a lot of worry. Again, Jeffrey Wilson, State Farm.
Have heard from Chief Deputy Ward Calhoun this morning. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department is going to have some DUI checkpoints set up this weekend. Tonight, they're going to have a checkpoint set up at Old Wire Road at Highway 496. Tomorrow evening, Highway 39 North in front of Daleville Grocery. On Sunday, they're going to have be during the overnight hours, Highway 493 at Self-Storage, and then a couple of other checkpoints early next week. So just know that Ward and the boys are out there.
That's right.
And can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
I forgot to thank someone.
Yeah.
Meridian Little Theater and Sidney Covington
Sid.
worked, like they said, we will make this happen for you in their ballroom to have these foster parents there.
Yes.
So Meridian Little Theater stepped up to the plate and said, we'll make this happen if you want us. So thank you for that.
Love Sid.
Oh, love Sid.
Sid's amazing.
Yep.
So, well, Toby, we're out of time.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Absolutely.
And thank you.
Absolutely.
You sign this paperwork for my probation officer?
I'll think about it. So, folks, have a great weekend. Do stay safe. And, of course, Glenn Beck is up next. And what do we always say? Buy local.
That's right.